Last week who smiled at me funny?
Oh, so he did get caught.
Shut.
Okay.
Now he laughs the same way he eats.
Let's see. So we have found 1 and 3.
I like my weapons like I like my coffee. Scalding.
Okay. We know 5 is in the bar.
Sharks are too scared to take the key because it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Any interest in GTA 6 character? Would be cool to see you in that. Oh, you mean in the game? No, it's never gonna happen. No. If you mean like RP, I'm not really a big RPer, to be honest.
You don't make
I don't
it in
really
this
do a lot of
life
RP.
without a good weapon.
I like having my stories told to me. I don't necessarily like telling the story. I'm not really good at that either. There's lots of people that are a lot
need
better
to
than
hear
me
about
at
your
telling
latest project.
stories
I
and
just
being
sell the
characters and
materials.
stuff like that.
The right protective gear can make all the difference.
Okay. Man, I'd really like to find at least 2 or 3 before we do 5. Or excuse me, 2 or 4.
I'm thinking about it.
Are you planning on playing Final Fantasy VII OG before Rebirth?
I got a story.
No.
Maybe save that for the second date.
Nah. Yeah, I have
may not
no
have official
affinity or
security.
connection with Rockstar. I would, you know, sometimes with like indie games or, you know, RPG devs, it's been awesome to have cameos, like in Cyberpunk BG3. That's just been amazing. Tainted Grail. But I don't really play like GTA style games and stuff like that. And, you know, that's not really, it's kind of weird. Even if they offered to me to do that, it'd feel weird. That's not really, you know,
Captains handle
I
most
kind
of
of
the
stay in my
patrols.
lane in that regard.
We've heard.
Oh, that's a notepad. Rude. There's one in the gym. Is there? Yes. 2.
Where
Great.
did your stellar rise to infamy begin?
We still need to find 4.
In the streets of New Atlantis. No parents, no godparents. Just a homeless punk kid robbing whoever he could for the credits.
Were these violent crimes? Murders?
I'm a bit offended you even asked that question, Gail. Sure, a few people here and there walked away with injuries, but I'm not some kind of butcher.
That doesn't sound as heartless as your reputation would imply.
Well, like I said, I was just a kid.
Were you ever caught by the authorities in New Atlantis?
Oh, dozens of times. But I'd just give them a fake name, or they just slap me on the wrist and send me on my way. They obviously didn't think that I'd amount to anything and didn't want to waste their
Shot a few
time with
bullseyes at the range
rehabilitation.
today. That's
What
worth
changed
buying
that?
myself a drink.
Was it the robbery in 2218?
2218. Oh, yeah. The Galbank archives. Very good, Gail. I see you've done your research. That would be when I rounded up a few of my buddies and we knocked the place over. Made off with a ton of credits. My first big score.
Is that why the Crimson Scar decided to bring you into their ranks?
That's right. They brought me in, taught me the ropes, and I did crimes for them for 5 years. Till I decided I wanted more. I got rid of their leader, put myself in his place, and started running the show. I've been the one in charge ever since.
Was it absolutely necessary to cut his throat and leave the body on a public street in the well?
On the street, reputation is everything. I wanted everyone in the city to know that Jasper Cricks was taking over. think they got the message.
Smuggling, stealing, pirating. There's a lot of ways to earn some
That's
scratch.
kind of hardcore. Okay.
Let me just ask you one final question before we wrap up.
Fine. Go ahead.
When is enough going to be enough? How many credits does Jasper Criggs need until he's satisfied?
I should have expected you'd ask such a stupid question. How the hell could you ever understand? You with your fancy education and your sheltered upbringing and your cushy media job. Me, I came from nothing. Everything I own, I've literally drawn blood to gain.
There's no need to get personal. I'm simply trying to state the facts so that our listeners can make judgments of their own.
Lady, I got news for you. Half of your listeners think I'm a hero. The other half are scared out of their goddamn minds, and they should be.
Perhaps we should talk about something else.
No, that's it. We're done. Can you guys get her the hell out of here? Make sure she takes all this sound equipment with her.
Well, that's it then. Thank you for your...
Actually, before you go, Gail, there's one more thing I would like to say.
Yes, of course. What is it?
When you broadcast this interview on SSNN, I want you to remember that I'll be listening. If you edit even one word or manipulate my voice to change anything I've said, I will hunt you down and kill you in front of everyone. Do you understand?
I understand. You have my word.
Damn, dude.
Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books. UC Security sent an armada after our little fleet of ships and picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Voli that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd
Need
have you
something?
believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but...
Better get a move on
security
before
unleashed
Dale
hell.
sees you slacking.
Shut up.
The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in and tossed us into the lock. That lovely resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there for how long?
Well, it was supposed to be for
Is all
life,
that junk
Gil.
really necessary?
But I ended up serving 2 years before I decided I'd had enough.
Is there any particular reason that you started the riots that eventually led to the worst prison break in United Colonies history?
Yes. I'm quite proud of that, actually. I honestly didn't think it would go as well as it did. As for the reason, well, it's simple. The UC were treating us like animals. The conditions in the lock were ridiculously bad and no one cared. That's why they stuck us on that ice ball in the first place. Out of sight, out of mind.
Your escape caused the deaths of many that were stationed at the lock. Some would brand that as a bit dismissive for what you're describing as a protest. If you were simply advocating for your fellow inmates, why didn't you just go through the proper channels?
And what the hell was I supposed to do? Send a strongly worded letter to my duly appointed representative?
Always
Wake up.
listen to Delgado.
The UC only responds to
Unless you want to
actions,
kill
not
all the
words.
crusty.
In my mind, there was no other choice. You know what? Let's move past my time at the lock so we can get to the point of this goddamned interview.
Okay. Am I excited for Breath Edge 2? Sure. Honest Guy says, Cohh, I'm drunk and I love you. Oh, that's nice of you, bud. I am thrilled you're drunk.
You either put up, shut up, or die.
Enjoy your night.
Maybe I just
Certainly.
need a
Let's
drink
talk
more.
about something else.
More.
How did the Crimson Scar become the Crimson Fleet?
After I busted out of the lock, I decided to take things to the next level. I had the key, a few UC ships, and a couple dozen ex-cons at my side. But I needed more, so I sent out the call. Once word got around, it didn't take long for freelance pirates from every corner of the settled systems to show up.
And this is how the Crimson Fleet was born.
Exactly. The key became our base of operations. We spent months reinforcing our position there, making it nearly impossible to approach.
What was the UC's response to the situation?
First of all, UC Security gave up and handed the reins over to the big guns, the UC Navy. The Navy, in turn, sent ships to attack the key. I'd say there have been 3 major attacks over the last few years. And as you can tell by the fact we're having this interview, all the attacks were embarrassing failures.
Do you feel these embarrassing failures led them to form UC systems?
Absolutely. They've clearly given up and decided to shove
Thanks,
the
Lena.
responsibility onto a separate division. That way, in the public eye, the UC Navy can move forward, proud and strong, while UC SysDef continually takes all the blame. It's all about PR spin for them, Gale. That's how the UC operates. Kinda disgusting, don't you think?
Sounds a bit like you're trying to deflect attention off the atrocities the Crimson Fleet commits on a daily basis.
Atrocities, huh? How about fighting the Freestar Collective over a bunch of rocks hanging in space? How about thousands of people dying while a bunch of pencil-pushing bastards sit in a cushy office and draw lines on a star map? Maybe the United Colonies should stop the bullshit and take a hard look in the mirror to see who the monsters really are.
Oh, Lena, it's just a reality
history
situation. You know, I have a big, personally for me, it's really, really strange, uncomfortable, and weird when a streamer encourages and leans into the, oh, viewers, you guys are my best friends. You guys are my family. I love you so much. Oh man, I love you guys. You guys, I love you so much. Like, I feel that's irresponsible and strange. So that's the only reason. Like, it's just, it's, you know, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's so weird. Like whenever I'm lurking in a stream and a streamer says stuff like that, I instantly leave. It's just like, that's just, it's, you know, that there's people out there that are hanging on every word when a streamer says that. And it's naive to think the streamer doesn't know that too. And it brings this very uncomfortable line where it's like, how far are people willing to go to kind of have blanket levels of success? And it's just, it's real. It's one of the reasons I draw that line so thickly. Thickly? Is that a word? It's one of the reasons that I never lean into that at all. I feel like it's irresponsible in a lot of ways. Yeah. If a single person were to hear the wrong order of words, to actually feel like a streamer was talking to them, it's just, that's this weird thing where it's like, if you know it can happen to one person, why would you ever do it? You know what I mean? So it's weird,
Fleet
man.
doesn't care
I
how
don't know.
big your bounty is. If you
It's always been something that I sit a little
earn,
uncomfortably
you're
with.
worthless to all of us.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I tell people all the time. Like, sure, if you've been here 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you talk every day in chat, we're internet buddies. Absolutely. But the idea that, you know, like, oh, we're family, and oh, I love you, and thank you so much, I love you guys so much, and oh my god, that's so amazing. It's just like, dude, don't do that, man. Like, people, there's people out there that are going to hear that, and it's going to be very unhealthy for them. It's going to be unhealthy for them, and it's not good. It's not good that some people hear that.
Holy sh! I ain't never getting used to that.
It's one of the reasons, like, it's interesting because for the longest time, back in the day, I inadvertently used the word. I was like, yeah, we're like cheers. We're like a big happy family. And at one point, I remember having somebody be like, yeah, it feels like family here. And it kind of hit me like a lightning bolt. I was like, well, wait, no, we're just an internet group of friends. Like, sure, you know, talk to people and make that kind of like connection. I do believe in internet connection. Absolutely. I grew up in EverQuest 1. Some of my best friends were over the internet. I believe that wholeheartedly. But I don't believe it in a term of people being anonymous with each other. That's different. That's a very different situation. And I think that it's important and healthy for people to understand that difference. It's one thing to be a community, it's another thing to be a family. Those are two different levels. You know what I mean? And to obfuscate the difference is irresponsible, in my opinion. Yeah. I would much prefer people understand that difference and do what's necessary to form those connections than to think that these like surface level things are actually deep. You know what I mean? That's how you form healthy relationships. Yeah. Which I'd love for everyone to have. Hi, Dogato. Let's do this.
Jasmine tells me that you not only brought us the car,
there's evidence in this room. This one? Thank you.
Prototype UC ship. I'm impressed, Rook. Very impressed.
Cohh, I'm confused. Can I put you down as a reference on my credit application or not? I know, right? So we aren't bros? Here's how, like, this is the reality of the situation. If you have been here for years, if you say something in my chat room and you know that I'm going to recognize your name because you've been here for years, that means that if I see you at TwitchCon and you come up to me and you say, I'm this guy in your chat, and if you know that I'm going to know who you are,
you want to space out?
We are what I would call bros.
On your own time.
Because I will give you some dap, maybe even a hug, and be like, thank you for the support. That's awesome. We're internet buddies. That's great. Like, that's cool. We're friends. But does that mean, like, you should be pouring all your troubles onto me, and that we are good friends, and that you could call me at 3 a.m. to bail you out of jail, and that kind of stuff? It's like, well, no, not exactly. Like, there's different levels to this. You know what I mean? Like we can be bros, but there's different levels of broness. So, you know, it's that kind of thing. There's levels and lines. It's absolutely right. There's levels and lines. And I feel like it's important to be overt and open with that kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
You better start talking.
I am sorry, but if you call me at 4:30 in the morning and you need help burying the body that you just unfortunately caused by accident, there's a good chance I'm not going to help you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, unless you're like a 10-year sub, in which case, sure, I'll get the shovel. But those are two very different lines.
You're looking a bit dry.
Very different lines. And I think we need to respect that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's important to know. The comm spike was built into the ship, so I didn't really have a choice.
Should have taken the compliment, Rook. Dale doesn't give those out often.
Juan gave us the full rundown of your little smash and grab operation. She gave you some really high praise. Said you were a pro.
Hold up.
From what I hear, receiving praise from Juan Dayu is quite an accomplishment. Now, on to the business at hand.
Okay.
Jasmine, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, boss. What's up?
10-year subs get the
How's it going?
Delamain Excelsior package.
Two of my crew tearing the ship
Right.
apart from one end to the other. Comm spike shouldn't be too tough to extract. I'm looking forward to seeing what those UC techs have been up to.
Keep me posted. All right. That leaves our electromagnetic atmosphere problem. And I think we've discovered a solution. There's a corporation in the city of Neon called Generdyne. They're responsible for the massive conduction grid that powers the city.
Oh.
We get our hands on their electrical absorption tech, and Jasmine swears she can tame it to handle Bannock 4.
Interesting. Okay, I have faith that Jazz can get that tech to work.
You damn right she can. My girl can piece together a jump engine with her eyes shut. Literally, I've seen her do it. Lost good money on that bet.
All right, let's not get carried away, neighbor. Now, why don't you give us the info on our Neon contact?
Exoterrus, best of vibes to you,
get
man.
to meet up
For sure.
with the lovely Estelle Vincent. She's had her deft little fingers on the pulse of Neon for some time now. Whatever info you need, I guarantee she can get.
Estelle is one of the most reliable captains we have in the fleet. If I want something done, there's none of the typical bullshit. It gets done, and afterward, we all split the cash.
I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
No. There is no getting along here. You are going to do everything she asks. Follow her instructions to the letter. She is valuable to the fleet. You piss her off and we lose her as a contact, you're going to be answering to me.
Are we pirates or politicians? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
If I wanted someone to commit petty crimes and snatch purses, I wouldn't be asking you. Take it as a compliment.
Estelle will be waiting at Madame Sauvage's place. I'd say don't keep her waiting, but chances are she won't mind. Girl loves her liquor.
And keep your eyes on the prize. Neon's one big distraction for people like us, so I want you focused. We are one step away from Crix's legacy, and we cannot afford any screw-ups.
Okay. First of all,
The fleet's the only family
Lemoy,
you need.
lol. Jack LaFear, how you doing? The fact that you're having this conversation means that you've achieved celebrity status as Hanbo. No. There's a total... Okay. There are two different terms. There is celebrity and there is internet celebrity. I will say that my status on Twitch gives me internet celebrity status. And what that means is there's a small portion of people in the world that might know who I am if they see me. And that happens every so often. I get pinged in public every so often. But it is not celebrity. Celebrity is general population popularity, and I absolutely do not have that. So that is 100% not a thing. Yeah, that is not a thing. I will maybe give you internet celebrity, but that's about it. So yeah. What about 10-year followers since you don't have 10-year subs? Excuse me? We absolutely have 10-year subs. Yep. In fact, hold on. What am I right now? I am a... oh, wait. That's on my channel. Hold on. I am a 10-year sub on my channel. Absolutely. And Renea did her 120-month sub today. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I definitely did that in my chat, and it said you've been subbed for 6 months, and I was like, man, Twitch is bugged. And then I remembered I made an alt channel. Took me a second. Yeah, took me a second. Twitch and its silly bugs. But no, just tonight, Renea actually subbed for 120 years. Sure, let's do that. 120 years. Yep. So she is a 120-year sub. That's right. Yeah. So there. Yeah, pretty wild.
If you need credits, hit up the mission boards at the Cohh.
You look good, AI Cohh. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay.
The fleet is
Words are hard. Words are incredibly hard. English is even harder. The English language makes 0 sense. I've been speaking it for most of my life, and it's garbage. Yeah.
I have things for you.
It's actually garbage. Yep.
Clamps released.
The English language was like, hey, let's make a lot of rules, and then never follow any of them. The USS Cohh is beefy. Oh, dude, yeah, this is our little ship. Unfortunately, it's not quite what I want it to be, because one thing that I think is so absolutely asininely dumb in the game of Starfield is that they 100% arbitrarily assign the ship components you can buy to your character level. And the thing I don't like about that is that it is one of the things of this game that is just completely unimmersive. It makes no sense. There's no reason why that should be the case. If you have the money, you should be able to buy it. So why does your character level factor into anything you can buy for your ship? That's one of the things that I want to sit Todd down at a nice dinner, at a nice steakhouse, and I want to be like, Todd, I love you. I do. You have something special. But I need to know who convinced you that this was a good idea, and I need to remove them from your circle of influence. Because it, like, there should have been multiple meetings that somebody stood up and said, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. There's no reason that we should inhibit what you can purchase from a vendor. Like, I understand the whole like available weapons in the world kind of thing, but ship parts? Really? Ship parts? Like, that doesn't, that's like, sure, make them ultra expensive and things cost more, and you have to level up to get more loot that sells for better. Like, sure, that makes sense. But like random ship parts, like, I don't know, man. There's so many better ways that could have been done. There's so many better ways that could have been done. That's one of the to be blunt, one of the few things in this game that actually makes me like, what were you thinking, dude? Doesn't make any sense.
We have a clean dock, right on the money.
Sergeant Phil says same for Cyberpunk. Oh, you mean the available cyberware? Yeah. I'd argue that as well. I think it's so much more immersive when you can see something in a vendor that is way outside of what you can afford or get at the time. I think it's so much better when you can set goals. When you can see something in a game and say, I want to do the work in this game to earn that item. Yep, I would agree with that. I think there's much better ways to do that than just arbitrarily assigning a level to it. Because it is so much cooler when a player says, I want to set a goal to either farm for something or get the credits I need to buy something, then it's just like arbitrarily going, I need to earn more experience to get this level that means nothing to anyone in the world. You know what I mean? Whenever you start factoring the character's level into it, then you immediately remove the aspect of immersion in that world. Because no one else in the world has levels. You're the only thing in that world that has levels. Your level is the only thing that matters. No one else has a level. So it's like, Why would that be a factor in this stuff? Okay, I'm gonna have to take your claw out of my arm. There we go. So it's just weird. It's always been weird to me. And I feel like that's one of those RPG tropes that's just kind of like been allowed to live. And it's like, we can do better. We can do better. Yeah. There's better ways to do this, and we should explore them.